December 18th, 1972, North Vietnam, 40 miles northwest of Hanoi. Technical Sergeant Samuel Turner is manning the tail gun position of a B-52D Stratofortress when his radar picks up a contact, closing fast from his 6 o'clock. MiG-21 North Vietnamese fighter, armed with air-to-air missiles and closing for a guns kill. Turner is sitting in the tail of an 8-engine strategic bomber designed to drop nuclear weapons on Moscow, not Dogfight with supersonic interceptors. He opens fire anyway, and scores the only air-to-air kill by a B-52 in history. Operation Linebacker II, Nixon's Christmas bombing campaign. The goal? Force North Vietnam back to peace negotiations by destroying their industrial capacity and military infrastructure with overwhelming air power. The plan? Send waves of B-52 bombers over Hanoi for 11 consecutive nights. Drop thousands of tons of bombs. Accept losses. Win through attrition. It's controversial. It's brutal. And it puts B-52 crews in the most dangerous airspace in the world. North Vietnam has the most sophisticated air defense network outside the Soviet Union. SA-2 surface-to-air missiles, radar-guided AAOA, and MiG-21 interceptors flown by experienced pilots who have been fighting American aircraft for 7 years. The B-52 isn't built for this. It's a strategic bomber. It's supposed to fly high-altitude nuclear strike missions against targets deep in Soviet territory. The airframe is from the 1950s. It's not agile. It's not fast. It's just big, reliable, and capable of carrying more bombs than any other aircraft in the inventory. But it does have one defensive weapon, a tail gun. The B-52D and G models mount 4.50 caliber M3 machine guns in a remote-controlled turret in the tail. The gunner sits in a separate compartment inside the fuselage, operating the guns via radar and a periscope sight. It's an anachronism. Most bombers had eliminated tail guns by the 1960s because missiles made them obsolete, but the B-52 kept them, and on the night of December 18th, that decision saved Samuel Turner's life. Turner's aircraft is part of a 3-ship cell attacking a railroad yard northwest of Hanoi. The bomber stream has already taken losses. SA-2 missiles have downed 2 B-52s earlier in the night. The North Vietnamese air defense network is fully active. Turner's watching his radar scope, tracking multiple SAM launches when a new contact appears. Fast mover, closing from behind and below. The B-52's tailgun radar has a range of about 4,000 yards. Turner identifies the contact as a MiG-21 at 3,000 yards and closing. MiG-21 Fishbed, Mach 2 capable, armed with R-3S infrared-guided missiles and a 23mm cannon, designed specifically to intercept American bombers. North Vietnamese doctrine for attacking B-52s is simple: approach from behind and below. Outside the effective range of the tail gun, fire missiles, break away. The bombers are too slow to evade and too large to miss, but this MiG pilot makes a mistake. He closes inside 2,000 yards before firing. Maybe he's trying for a guns kill. Maybe his missiles malfunction. Maybe he underestimates the B-52's tail gun. Turner doesn't wait to find out. At 2,000 yards, he opens fire. 4.50 caliber machine guns firing at 1,200 rounds per minute combined. Armor-piercing incendiary rounds. The guns are radar-aimed, tracking the MiG automatically while Turner refines the aim using his optical sight. The effective range of a .50 caliber gun against aircraft is about 1,000 yards. Turner's firing at twice that distance, but he's throwing out so much lead that some of it has to connect. The MiG is closing at 500 knots relative velocity. Every second the range decreases by 800 feet. Turner keeps firing, walking the tracers toward the target. At 1,200 yards, the MiG opens fire with its 23mm cannon. Turner sees the muzzle flashes on his optical sight. Cannon rounds streak past the B-52's tail. At 1,000 yards, Turner's rounds start connecting. He sees flashes on the MiG's wings and fuselage. The aircraft is taking hits. At 800 yards, the MiG breaks left, trailing fire. Turner keeps shooting, leading the target as the fighter turns. The MiG's left wing explodes. The aircraft snaps into an uncontrollable roll. 2 seconds later, the pilot ejects. Turner watches the parachute deploy. The MiG impacts the ground and explodes. The entire engagement lasts 35 seconds. Turner's B-52 continues to the target, drops its bombs, and returns to base. He doesn't report the kill until after landing because he's not entirely sure what just happened. When the intelligence officers debrief the mission, they're skeptical. B-52 tailgunners have fired thousands of rounds at MiGs over North Vietnam. Nobody's ever scored a kill. They review the gun camera footage. It's grainy, black and white, but clear enough. MiG-21 approaching, tracers connecting. Fire, break, explosion. The kill is confirmed. B-52 D. Callsign Ruby 3, tailgunner SSgt Samuel Turner, air-to-air victory with 4.50 caliber machine guns. It's the first and only air-to-air kill by a B-52 in history. Here's why this matters. By 1972, the era of bomber tailguns was over. The B-52 was one of the last aircraft to carry them. Most strategists thought they were useless against missiles and supersonic fighters. Turner proved they weren't useless. They were situational. In the right circumstances, with a skilled gunner and a pilot who made a tactical error, even a 1950s defensive system could still be lethal. The North Vietnamese learned from this engagement. Their MiG pilots changed tactics, staying outside gun range and relying exclusively on missiles for B-52 intercepts. Over the next 11 nights of Linebacker II, the Air Force lost 15 B-52's, all to SAMs. No more were shot down by MiGs, and no more MiGs were shot down by B-52's. Turner was awarded the Silver Star. He flew 55 combat missions over North Vietnam and retired from the Air Force in 1979. The B-52 tailguns were eventually removed. The H model, which entered service in the 1960s, never had them. The last gunner-equipped B-52G was retired in 1994. But for one night in December 1972, a strategic air command bomber fought like a fighter and won. The B-52 is still flying today, 72 years after its first flight. It's outlived its crews, its targets, and most of its critics. The Air Force plans to keep it in service until 2050, making it a 100-year-old aircraft design. And somewhere in the maintenance logs of that aircraft, there's a notation about a MiG-21 kill scored over Hanoi, because even a 1950s bomber with a tail gun can be deadly if you get too close.